It's William with the Riverstone Life, and you know what we're going to talk about today? We're going to talk about this GMC Duramax right back here and how to keep it on the road, because you know I do RV transport and I need to keep this truck on the road. Let's say a name here. Pacific Performance Engineering. Can you remember that name? Pacific Performance Engineering. You're saying, hey William, who's that? That's who that is. We'll talk about this in a second. They reached out to me. They know the problems I was having with this truck. They sent me some products. This one I couldn't put on. I'll tell you why. The other product I already put on the truck, and we'll show you that on the truck. And we'll talk about the miles that I've put on this truck. Because by the time you see this video, this stuff will already be installed, and I'll be using that truck so I can give you my full opinion. Again, what was that name? Pacific Performance Engineering. Let's get that right. You're going to want to remember this name. Pacific Performance Engineering. They know how to keep this truck on the road. They know how to keep that motor going. They know how to keep that transmission going. And this fixes the transmission problem. Is it a replacement for that power valve problem that these things have? Valve body problem? Is it a replacement for that? No, it's not. But what have I learned since I've owned this truck? What have I learned from everybody that's reached out to me? Usually what causes the problem with this transmission is if you get it hot, or you get a bad one right from the beginning. And you'll know that when you buy one of these trucks and it jumps. You feel it in the transmission, okay? I've got the new transmission on this truck. They're putting this pan now, and we're doing a flush. This truck has never skipped a beat since they put that transmission in it. I don't have a lot of miles on it at this moment. But by the time we finish this video, you're gonna find out how many miles I have on this truck with this pan, and I'm gonna let you know what I think about spending this $400 on this and putting it on there. Well, William, why aren't you putting it on there yourself right now? Do you know why I'm not doing that? Because one thing I learned with this truck, don't do a filter and drain unless you can do a flush. It makes the whole difference. I've talked to many people that have been doing this truck, having the problems, the ones that are flushing, ones that have not even added this pan. They tell me their temperatures. I know my temperatures. I'm gonna know my new temperatures with this extra 3 gallons of fluid in there. So I'm gonna have a lot of knowledge in this video by the time we get to the end of it, if you should spend your money on Pacific Performance Engineering pan. Is that a good looking pan? They have 3 different colors. They have a brushed aluminum. I thought the black matches the white and the black on the truck, you know? So what do you think? What do you think? We're gonna get this installed by a professional just because I can't flush this thing. I don't have the equipment to flush it. Putting this on and changing the filters, I've done that to many cars in my life. Not a problem. But the other part I already put on, and we're gonna tell you what the other part is. I wanna thank Pacific Performance Engineering for sending me these products. I'm not getting paid for this video. They sent me the products for free. I'm gonna use the products. The difference in this video is I could have put this video out months earlier. I've waited and waited and waited. Okay, they make a micro pure Duramax extra large filter for this. This is something I think should come on the truck right from the manufacturer. It makes no sense why they put this little filter on there and this company makes one this big. The difference in their big filter is you can use almost another quart of oil. I think this thing will hold 11 quarts is what it holds now instead of the 10 quarts originally. You have to buy an adapter, and it's called the fuel coolant pump. There's a fuel coolant pump that's in the way for you to just go buy a large oil filter. Because I'm sure you think, hey, well, I'll just go pick up a big oil filter from a diesel truck shop. Well, you don't want to do that because it's not the right filter. It's not going to protect your engine, so don't do it. First of all, if you got a 20 to 25 GMC or Chevy, it's not going to work anyways because you need their little bracket thing right here that sells for $39. And what it does is it takes it, moves it back farther so it gives you enough room to get that filter in there. I've put that on already. this is going to be used on this truck from now on. I'll show you that in this video. Then I'll do a follow-up video talking about all the miles and everything that we've done in this video. Everything's going to be in this video. I don't want you to go out and spend your hard-earned money and not know if this stuff's going to work. But I'm going to be able to tell you the difference at the end of this video with this stuff and what I've learned from it. I'll crawl under the truck and show you where the other one is and where it fits and all that stuff. And then we will get out here and we'll talk about it, walk around the truck and talk about this stuff. Again, what's the name of the company? Pacific Performance Engineering. So I bought their filter. Actually, they sent it to me for free, but if I needed to buy it, it would have cost $39.99 for the relocated kit, another $29 for the filters. I've got extra filters I'll keep with me. Even if I go to a dealer, if somebody else changes the oil on this truck, I don't really plan on having that happen anymore. I'm gonna do all this service myself, what I can, when I can. But I'm gonna carry those filters with me because this truck will have nothing but that filter on it from now on, so we can see if we can get 1,000,000 miles on it. You know, we started this thing, we started these videos, we started the new transmission, 75,000. We're starting this filter and everything on there now. It's going in I'm doing a service early on this so that I can get this pan put on there and see what the fluids look like, have them tested, get a little more idea of what's going on with this truck. I need this transmission to last. I really do. I need to get 300,000-400,000 miles on it. I need to get 1,000,000 miles on that motor. I'm hoping that oil filter helps. Okay. The filter, I know the filter has a lot. You know what, let's just, since I got you right here, let's just see what we can find out about the filter. Because I don't know all the specs on this filter. I just know anything that is that much bigger and can do that much stuff is got to be a helpful filter. So I'm sure they spent the time researching this, making this the right way to go. And I know that they actually have their own little video out there talking about this filter. Let's just see if we can find it in here. All my stuff, right here it is. Okay, let's just go with this real quick. Let's turn the volume on.
Offering more than double the surface area of a conventional oil filter, the PPE Micro Pure Extreme Performance Engine Oil Filter is exactly what your engine oil needs to stay cleaner, longer. This direct replacement engine oil filter has upgraded features including a thicker, fretted baseplate with larger passages for higher flow and torque stop technology which ensures a leak-free seal. Reinforced silicone anti-drain back valve keeps oil in the engine, ensuring no damaging dry starts. 900 square inches of premium composite filtration media capable of filtering down to 5 microns. Spiral-wrapped adhesive secures filter media. Perforated metal center tube provides core strength for filter media. Bypass valve that opens 10 psi higher than stock. Stiff coil spring eliminates oil blow-by. A high-power neodymium magnet holds harmful ferrous metal debris. Don't settle for a repurposed semi-tractor trailer filter that causes dry starts. Upgrade to an engine oil filter that was specifically made for your Duramax. With twice the surface area, twice the filtration, and twice the filter life of conventional filters, the PPE Micro Pure Extreme Performance Engine Oil Filter is your #1 choice for...
I think they pretty much said it better than I could have said it, right? Sounded like a robot, but you know what? Sometimes I sound like a robot. So do you remember the name? Pacific Performance Engineering. That truck already has that filter on it. I put that filter on it already. Did that myself. The pan's gonna get done next. So we're gonna end the video right here. I'll show you under the truck where I did my part with the filter. And then we're gonna put a bunch of miles on this truck. And then I'm gonna talk about it at the end of this video and tell you how many miles we got on that truck with that filter, that new pan, all that stuff. Let you know what's going on with the temperatures in the transmission, how I feel about it, or maybe we don't get no miles at all and I tell you that none of that helped because General Motors just built a really crappy transmission and nothing you do is gonna help, right? We don't know. I don't know because this part of the video was done before any of the miles or anything else was done. I want to thank Pacific Performance Engineering for sending me these products so that I can try them out and show them to you. So let's get back. Yeah, we'll be back. You can see the new lines because this thing used to set like right here. Hopefully you can see that. It used to set right there. So if you have a 2020 to 2025 GMC, then you have to buy this thing for $39. It's a kit, comes with the new hoses and everything to remove this over so that you can get that filter in there. And that's what I want to talk about, because when I say this should already come on the truck, it should already come on the truck. You see how big that filter is? This truck holds 10 quarts of oil. Now it holds 11 quarts of oil with this filter on there. This filter is designed to filter this truck the way it should be filtered. It's designed so that you don't have a cold start and don't get the oil down in there. It's been designed for this Duramax. They make them for every diesel truck out there. Why this is not on the truck right from the beginning. My old filter was like this much, where the letters PPE right there is how small the original filter was on this truck. Does that make any sense to you? And just when you think William's gone, he's never going to do another video again, I'm back. You know, yeah, we've taken a few weeks off. Enjoyed the break. For everybody out there that thought I was never going to do a video again, that's not what that last video was about. The last video was about us taking a break and just letting you know. So many people reached out and said, hey man, I enjoy your videos, don't go away. We're not going away, okay? We just have a lot of things going on, and we'll talk about that stuff in upcoming videos. I might even put a video out on the William Untethered, talking about the other adventures me and Robin got going on, the reason we took this break. But I was going through my videos, cleaning my phone up, getting everything cleaned up, because I haven't made a video in weeks, and I don't even know if I know how to make a video again. So I'm going through going, wait a minute, I've never done the follow-up truck video on all the miles since I put the added filter and put the transmission pan and everything that I've learned. So I said, you know what, I'm going to do this video. It's going to be our first video coming back. Not what you expected, but you know what? Some of our best videos out there are talking about this truck, its transmission problems, and all that stuff. And all of our transporter people that have this truck, this is information you probably want to know. So let's talk about the truck. The first part of this video, I showed you the oil filter setup that we put on here to get that motor to last longer. Second part of the video, I think I even showed you me putting that on there, but then I had to take it into the shop. The shop did the service on that. So, you know, let's just kind of get comfortable here. We'll look at a different angle. Let's go like this. Oh, look, I'm rocking my hat because I was in the top 75, you know. Woohoo, at Wave. If you're wondering what that it's all about, go down in the description below. Rob will have everything down there. If you want to get into RV transport, that stuff's down there. You can click on the link. It'll take you to Wave. You'll set up an account. And if you decide you want to use me for a referral, you put my name, William Sikora, and I'll be there to help you like I have been helping so many other people. That's what these videos are about, helping other people. But I just got the truck all serviced again, changed the oil again, waxed and polished, just clean this thing from top to bottom. It's looking great again. I'm getting ready to go back on the road again. I'll have a follow-up video about that trip and what we're doing, and we'll talk about that and give you the numbers on that one for the people that need to know the numbers. But for everybody out there that thought I was gone, I'm not gone. I'm still here. I'll start making videos again. We'll start showing our life, even if it's not RV transport. We'll be putting it out there on one of the channels. But can you guess how many miles are on this truck now with that transmission pan? I think I said, I watched that video and it said 3 gallons. It's 3 quarts, but I'll put that in the first part of the video correcting that. But I think that pan added an extra 3 quarts, and the oil filter added an extra quart of engine oil. So anytime you have more fluid going through your system, that's got to be a plus, right? Right, that's what I think. Let's talk about the oil filter. Before I was using that oil filter, I was changing the oil about 10,000 miles. I was using T6. It's good for 10 to 15,000 miles, and I didn't push it to the 15. I would go 10,000 miles. And that oil was pretty dirty. Okay. Since then, I've been using the oil filter. the new filter system from Pacific Performance Engineering. And what have I learned? I've learned that I go 12,500 miles with that oil now, and it's a full synthetic, the T6, and it doesn't even look dirty at 12,500 miles. It says I can go to 15. It's been working out where I'm always in there between 11 and 12.5, so that's when I have the time to change the oil on all the miles that I put on every month, because I put a lot of miles on this truck. So do I think that filter's a big improvement? I do. I don't know if that's affected. My oil pressure always looks good on this truck. Looked the same. I didn't see any difference in oil pressure. Maybe a little bit. I mean, that gauge is just lines, so you're not getting an exact number on this truck. So maybe the oil pressure's a little higher. I don't know if it can actually make the truck run cooler, because for some reason, but I had an antifreeze flush and everything on this truck too. My truck temperatures are running 10 or 15 degrees cooler now since I added that oil filter. And I'm pretty sure it was that, because I didn't do the didn't do the antifreeze flush for another 50, 60,000 miles at least. So that extra oil in that engine might help. That's what I've noticed there. The big question, the transmission. Now, this truck had 75,000 miles on it when the transmission was a little bit under 70, 74 some, but by the time I got miles on it and drove it around and took it in and got the pan and everything on it, and it didn't have that much more miles on it when they put the pan, maybe 5,000 more, so let's say 80,000 miles on it, and they drained the fluids and they put that fluid back in, that exact same fluid. They were able to catch everything, put the pan and everything on there. They said it was too early for me to do a flush and change that fluid, because I guess you can lose some kind of performance, or it can affect the transmission if you're changing the fluid too soon. So everybody reached out and said, well, William, what are you going to change that? I said, I'm going to change it at 30 or 40,000 miles. Well, that was before I knew about the pan and added this extra pan to it and added the extra fluid. So I got to drive it for about 5,000 miles without that pan on there. And my temperatures were in that 155, 165 range. And then they put the pan on it, and then my temperatures were in that 145 range. This truck, and all the miles, and I haven't even told you the miles yet, but in all the miles that I put on this truck, it's never got over 165. And that was in hot, 114 degree weather outside the deserts of Arizona and California, climbing hills, pulling a trailer, never got over 165. Okay, this truck, pretty much before the new transmission and all the fluid changes and the filter and the pan upgrade, is 165 to 185. So this transmission was already doing better. Also was doing better because of the new fluid. Plus, I didn't keep that close of eye on it when we first started this whole project, because I didn't think this truck had a transmission problem. Didn't know that it had a valve body problem. But I think that valve body problem can be controlled if you get a truck that you're servicing it more, you're doing a complete filter change, fluid drop, and flush when you do it. Do I think doing it too soon can affect it? I do. My first video is talking about this, I didn't, but since I've had more time now, that's why this video has taken so long. So if you have this truck and it's never gave you any shifting problems, it's not shifting hard or bouncing from the beginning of having it, then you're probably good to go that 75 or 100,000 miles before you do that first transmission flush and drain. If you bought one of these like mine shifted hard from the day we had it. It already had the signs that I didn't know they were signs at the time, but it already had the signs that the transmission was probably going to have problems. So I was lucky to make it to 75,000 miles. This new transmission has never shifted hard. It's never jerked, anything like that. I've hauled less weight. So when you're thinking about this video or thinking about what I've told you, I'm not hauling 20,000 pounds. I'm hauling 10,000 and less. Okay? How many miles are on this truck is what you really want to know, right? This truck is going to hit 275,000 miles this week. So it's almost got 200,000 miles on the second transmission with the deeper pan with the 3 quarts more fluid in it. Am I impressed? I'm impressed. Did it take me a long time to do this video? Absolutely, because I did not want to tell you to go waste $400 on that pan and more fluid and do more flushes and spend more money than you needed to, even though people keep reaching out to me and I tell them I'm going to do this video. I pretty much forgot about when I first started this video, when Pacific Performance sent me all the stuff, and they've reached out going, hey William, when are you going to do our video? Well, I think it's a good thing that we've waited this long, because I get to really tell you that you need to buy this stuff. Robin will put everything down in the description below so you can go to their website and you can purchase this stuff. We're not being paid for this. They're not giving us anything. They gave me the product, and I'm so glad they did. I'm so glad that the truck has held up the way it has. You're going to ask yourself, okay, William, so how often should I service that transmission? To be honest, if you're hauling 20,000 pound campers and you're just working this thing like a workhorse every day, probably every 50,000 miles. And the reason I'm saying that is because I'm not working it very hard. I did it at 50,000 miles, and the fluid did not look bad. They told me I could have went further. So we waited 100,000 miles for the second filter drain, filters, fluid, flush, all that stuff. And at 100,000 miles, they could tell that now it was breaking down. It was getting dirty, but everything looked great. Do I think it's because I hauled lighter stuff? I think that helped. Do I think that extra 3 quarts? I know that helped, because it showed it on the gauge. It showed the temperatures. Wasn't worried. I didn't even want to work this summer, because I felt that when I tore the transmission up last time is when it was in the 100-degree temperatures. I was working this thing really hard out west, climbing a lot of hills, and that's when that transmission took its beating. And I told Robin, I said, you know what, I don't even want to work this summer. She goes, well, everything's doing what it's supposed to be doing. You've done everything you need to do. To really know for sure, you need to be out there. So we took it to hotter weather than we ever have before. And yeah, the whole time you're doing it, you're worried. You're watching all that stuff. You get a little stressed out about it. But afterwards, you see that it did it, and you had no problems, and the temperatures look great. And you got back to the cooler weather, and you're 145 is what my transmission temperatures are when I'm hauling campers everywhere across the United States now. When I'm not in that 115, 114 degree weather, whatever it was. It was hot. It was hot the whole time. It was miserable. So, that's why I wanted to do this video today. This was not going to be the video to be our first video coming back. Really wasn't. It was going to be me and Robin talking about other things that we're working on. But it's a video that needs to be put out. And this way everybody knows that the Riverstone life ain't going nowhere. The channel's still here. I'm still doing RV transport. I'm still promoting that. I'm still doing referral people. I've got 15 referrals in the last 2 weeks out there smashing it. I mean, they're smashing it. The load board looks good right now. The loads have been there. I don't know if it's because it's not summertime and everybody says, there's no work, so they don't work, and that's why there's so many more loads for all of us. But loads have not been a problem. There was a 2-week span in August where it got kind of ugly, and everybody let me know how ugly it was. You know what? I told them, just have a little patience. For the ones that had patience, they're out there kicking butt again, not worrying about it, doing exactly what I told them. And the ones that didn't have patience, they're working for Indiana Transport, making 30 cents a mile less. I had to throw that in. It's been a while since I was a little smart, right? Smart ass, I should say. But this is for everybody that has one of these GMCs or the Chevys, and you're worried about that transmission. You're out there working on the road. Get the filter set up. You'll love how much better your oil looks. I mean, I can't see inside my motor, but when my oil's coming out hardly dirty after that many miles, the filter must be doing a lot. So thumbs up to Pacific Performance for making a great product. The transmission pan, I mean, It added 3 more quarts. I think it was 3 more quarts. The shop's the one that's been doing it. I have not done the service on my transmission because I can't flush it. And I think it's the key. I think the key to keeping that transmission going is dropping the pan, changing the filters, draining all the fluid, flushing the old fluid out, and putting completely brand new fluid back in there. And I think for the $400 investment for that pan, to have that extra 3 quarts in there, some guys go and buy a bigger cooler. That works too. Or maybe do both of them. If you're hauling 20,000, you're hauling park models all the time, or you have a Riverstone that you're traveling across the country full time, then maybe you want to add the cooler too. I don't haul that Riverstone enough to worry about it. And if I did, then I would probably add a bigger cooler. But this is the video I needed to put out. I hope it's the video you wanted to see. It's our first video back. A few days I'm hitting the road again. Gonna go out there and show you the numbers. Everybody wants to see the numbers. So I'm gonna go out west. Pretty sure I'm gonna get some reloads. There's been a lot of reloads out there, so I'm gonna do that. And we're gonna make things happen. And I'll start putting some more videos out. They're not gonna be, one every day. We'll ease back into this. Hopefully we've got a big surprise. Something we can tell you that we're doing. And hopefully you'll be as excited as we are. Plus, I think it'll bring a lot more videos about a lot more things, and maybe it'll make it easier for me to meet my referrals and get to know them better. That's what we're hoping for. So, how do we end these videos? Well, I gotta say, don't forget about Wave and the top 75. I was the top 75. Yeah, whatever, right? I'm sure it's because of all the referrals. But you know what? Wave's been good to me, and I enjoy what I'm doing. And how do we end these videos? Always